Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Nettesheim. I am with the Center for Community Transformation, and specifically I'll talk about our YouthBuild program. My introduction is kind of easy because these guys hit a lot of stuff for me, so thank you to the panelists that kind of have already touched on a few things. Patrick had mentioned the need to not do this alone and how many resources are out there. Our program and our center is kind of a living proof of that. We could not be successful, we would not have the opportunities for our students if it were not for the people sitting at this table, the people sitting in the, here in the audience. Grand Rapids is a phenomenal city, and it's full of people that do want to help, and sometimes it's just letting them know how. And so that partnership that we've seen working with the Home Builders Association, working with some builders, working with the universities and other training programs, we have a lot to offer in Grand Rapids. The resources are there to train the next generation, and so we're very happy to be a part of that. The way that we're working to train the next generation for really any level of work, but specifically for the construction training industry, is through our YouthBuild program. YouthBuild was started back in the late 70s in New York when it was clearly seen that there were young people standing on the corner next to buildings that were falling apart. And the idea was, well, let's train this generation to repair the housing around them and create opportunities for them to make not only strides in their own life, but to rebuild communities as well. And so that's something at the Center for Community Transformation, it's in our name, something that we feel very passionate about, and we can do that through our young people and specifically through our construction training. So our YouthBuild program is primarily for 18 to 24-year-old young men and women. There's two primary needs that most of our students are going to come to us for. First and foremost, our top priority for a lot of our students is earning their GED. That next piece of education is immensely important, and we want to create an opportunity for them to complete their education. So our students will come in for over about a 7 to 8 month period, and will work intensely in our program Monday through Friday to earn their GED. We do not run a program where you sit down in front of a computer for 8 hours a day and click buttons. That model works for some, and I'll say it doesn't work for most. Our program really is proud of the fact that we've created an education component that is hands-on with real live instructors, and then we pair it with things like computer-based programming or testing and that kind of stuff. But our students are going to work in a classroom setting with instructors that know them as people. We serve, generally 18 to 23 students at a time over that 8 month period. So we have the opportunity, as Patrick said, to really get to know our young people and really get to know what those barriers might be in their life, or how that we can, help open some doors for them. So in addition to getting that GED training, all of our students then also receive construction training. This is entry-level construction training. As Patrick gave a great introduction about HBI, we use HBI curriculum and model. So we also train in the PACT. We do OSHA 10, we do CPR, we do safety. It's a great curriculum, and it's a nationally recognized curriculum that allows us to have our students get a taste of a variety of different trainings. So again, not everyone wants to go swing a hammer and frame. Well, that's such a small sliver of the industry, then let's expose them to other things, the electrical, the plumbing, maybe the administrative, the office work. So we want to give all of our students a wide variety of experiences. What I love about construction is, one, it's a fantastic industry. You can support yourself, you can support your family, you can build a beautiful life being a skilled trade and being a craftsman. It's not for everybody. And it's not for all of our students. Some of our students come in focused on that GED and say, well, I don't want to do construction. I don't want to build. I understand that. That's not everyone's area. But there are skills there. We call them transferable skills, your soft skills, whatever you're going to call them, whatever the phrase is. For us, it's transferable skills. Construction is an amazing industry for us to expose our students to those skills that can be transferable to any industry. So the things that we hear from the industry, the being on time, the being prepared, the communication skills, those are transferable. I don't care where you're going to work. If you can work those skills, you're going to be employable anywhere. So for our students that don't want to do construction, we tell them, okay, don't do construction after you graduate our program. Okay, you are going to do construction because there is so many skills that we can pass along to our young people through your industry. And through those students, we traditionally have a handful of each that had no idea they wanted to be in the skilled trades. Again, going back to some people's conversation about how you're getting down into the 5th grade, the 6th grade, that's where it needs to start, because the impression of the industry is not accurate. The idea that you are going to always be laid off, or that you're going to do backbreaking work that'll leave you crippled for the rest of your life. That's all just not the case. And often our students are coming in at age 18, 19, 20. That's our first thing we start with, to say, let me really show you what these programs are and what these trades are. And the idea is that college is not for everybody. And I've worked with young people for a lot of years. I can say with certainty, it's not for everybody, and it doesn't need to be for everybody. Go out and get your trainings, go out and get those vocations. The universities and these other training programs do an amazing job at that. So we work hard to educate on what the industry actually is, and that our students can leave our program and either go straight to work if they want to, or go get additional training through GRCC or some of these other unions, and make more money than most of us sitting up here in their first year. And so I tell them, go out and do that, and go out and I think sometimes that's where we rely on the industry, is to paint that picture for our students, to say this is great work. Our program is located right in the inner city, which is similar to other programs here. It's untapped resources. And at the same time, the construction industry is not a diverse one. I don't have to say that and wonder if anyone's going to disagree with me. It is reality and it's fact. And so to work with different populations, we're calling on the industry to look at how they do their business and how they support their employers and how they look at their potential employees, and how are you working with our students, and how are you committing as an industry to tapping into the next generation of students. Anyone who runs a business or who does hiring knows the cost of turnover and the cost of training. And yet I hear from the industry say, well, we can't afford to pour into our employees, or we can't afford to train our students. And my response always is, can you afford not to? You have a whole section of young men and women out in Grand Rapids that are ready to work, but you're going to need to do your part and develop them. We'll do our part on the training side, and we're going to work on these transferable skills, and we'll give them a good base that will make them useful to you as employees. And now it's on you to take it to that next level and say, how do I develop these employees? Because it's across any industry, you need to develop your workforce. And maybe when things are good and there's people lined up out the door with the skills, you don't have to. The reality is these days you do have to, and it will pay off for your industry. So we're doing our part within YouthBuild to deliver those skilled trades experiences. We work with, similar to other programs, we go out and work on job sites. We develop low-income housing. So our students, similarly, are out building low-income housing. Some of our students that are building houses are currently homeless. This is something that means something to them. In fact, they're building houses for them. The houses we build are for students and for young people. And so we believe that we can take our training experience and transform the city through better housing, through better opportunities. So it's a phenomenal program. It's something we can't do without the partners within our community, that either we become a feeder system to the GRCCs or to the construction industry, but then that give back from the industry. And that's done in a variety of different ways. And so we need you to be involved. It can't be a one-way street where we develop young people and then they're yours and you go. We need to do the partnership. The HBA, the Next Generation Committee, is leading that stride, and it's the pieces are there, and I'm glad to see everyone coming together to put those pieces together, because I know it's something that we can really make a huge impact in.